hit the tweets.
We should be live. It is live. Let's go. We will start in just 1 minute, getting everything ready to roll as per usual. Let's get people in the chat. Let's rock and roll, fellas. Chase is coming to you from the middle of nowhere. Edgar Allan Poe's residence, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this place is haunted.
It most certainly looks like it. Alrighty. Okay. Boom. All right, YouTube is ready to roll. Everything is good to go on the YouTube channel. All right. Let's do this thing.
Yo, how about women's soccer? Hey, shout out the Lady Cougs.
Yeah, shout out women's soccer. How are fine ladies at Rutgers Swim and Dive doing, Chase? I know you're locked in.
I actually canceled Big 10 Plus. So I was using your Big 10 Plus. And
yeah, I was about to say, I was like, no, trust me, I'm still getting the effing emails. I'm losing my mind.
You canceled it, so brutal, dude.
I most certainly canceled it. Everything is looking fantastic. Let's freaking go. Oh man, what a weird day. It's like BYU basketball, phenomenal. BYU football,
yeah. Well, that's kind of it. That's all that happened, right?
not phenomenal.
Yeah.
Easy way to put it.
Did the people want us to even talk about it?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Because
We won't talk long, but we'll talk about it. All right. Last
Hop
thing
in the chat if you type ones in the chat if you like Rutgers Swim and Dive.
All right, chat's popping right now. Chat's going. Chat, we'll be live in just a second.
Oh, I love you guys. Pop it in here.
Holy cross. All right. I'm getting destroyed online. Every time I open my phone, it's 400 missed notifications from Texas Tech fans. But, that's just called playing the game, Chase,
It's honestly really admirable of you to take the hit on this one so that Connor could have a dub.
Yeah, I know it's been a minute, but it's okay.
And he's been chirping. He's been talking that talk.
All right.
He deserves it.
You ready?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's do it. Let's start the podcast. All right. 3, 2, 1. We're live. We're actually live right now here on the YouTube channel, Field of 68 Podcast Network YouTube channel, and on Church Ball Pod X accounts right now. People are popping off in the chat right now. Very happy to be here. BYU coming off a resounding win, to say the least, dismantling the entire University of Holy Cross after that one. Blowout win for BYU, exactly what we expected. BYU was a 38-point favorite coming into this one. No surprises here. We'll get into some injury updates. We'll get into the football game later on. But first, let's dive into the basketball that we just watched, Chase. Initial thoughts from tonight.
It's exactly what we wanted to see. We're going to take it as a grain of salt as we analyze here. There are some good things to point out. It's not like it's a nothing game. But I'm just glad that we saw them take care of business. I'm glad it was fun, lots of dunks, lots of steals. The building looked like it was actually like a really good turnout, and it was hype. And everyone, the student section was full. People wanted to see this team play in Provo for the first time. It's good for teams to have these games. That's why everyone does it, obviously. It's good to just beat up on some guys and get some run with your boys. Figure out some kinks, hit a bunch of shots. Most of them from 2 feet, but we'll get into that. So for what you can take from this game, like obviously happy with everything. Nothing to complain about.
Nothing to complain about. It's just, I think people, and we'll dive into like the concerns and whatnot.
We'll pull something out of our butts, Carter. Yeah,
we'll get into the weeds a little too much of this one, but that's what you wanted in this game. And the number one thing, I even texted you this. I had it in my notes right here. Is for all the hype videos that they're going to be having all season long for promos and everything, about 80% of the highlights are probably coming from this game because there were an unlimited amount of dunks from an unlimited amount of players. And it was just one team was bigger than the other, one team was more athletic than the other, and one team was just 100 times better than the other. And that was basically it. What was the one thing I will say that was interesting about this one is Kevin Young touched on it in the halftime interview with Jerem, where he was like, "Yeah, they're not. Holy Cross is not is not going to let us shoot threes. Therefore, the driving lanes are going to be open. So we're just going to take that all day." And it was easy. It was barbecue chicken all day penetrating. And that kind of leads to a different point of we also saw that in the Villanova game because the scouting report on this BYU team, especially from the last season, and even if you go back 2 seasons with Pope, is BYU likes to shoot a lot of threes. Stop the three ball. Don't let him get hot from three, especially Richie Saunders. Do not let him get hot from three. But then it just leaves open dudes like HA and Rob Wright who are like, this is fantastic. I can just drive to the paint at will.
Yeah, and it was like the definition of at will tonight. It didn't even need like a lot of action to get open. It was, respect to Holy Cross. This is what they signed up for. But
This
there
is
was
what they
not.
get paid for.
Yeah, like they don't feel bad, So they just not a single person on the floor could stay with half of BYU squad, and so that's why guys like Diamante were just going in and getting layups whenever they want, which is good to see, and shows the talent of this BYU team. I don't know if I could say this because it's whatever, you played an awful team, but that was like the most I've seen just individual talent in one of these games. They play them every year, they blow them out every year. It's whatever. But as far as just like one-on-one going to the basket, this is the most I've seen. Like every guy was able to do it tonight. And for a lot of, last season and seasons prior, that was like the biggest concern. Like BYU doesn't have a guy that can go get a bucket, can take it to the rack, and just go finish. They had like one or two maybe last year that you really felt good about. And tonight you just saw everyone do it. Again, the competition was low to say the least. But getting those reps in, being aggressive, they talked about they went to like finishing school, they said in practice right after what happened at Villanova, all the bunnies that they missed. I think it was an obvious emphasis. And like you said, it was there all night because Holy Cross was trying to take away that 3-point line. And they did. They did a decent job of it. I still think BYU could have shot it a whole lot better. And that might be something we need to talk about a little bit later on, Carter.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I mean, the problem is it's like, okay, if someone's gonna give you the dunk, you take the dunk every single time.
Yeah.
And there were once again unlimited amounts of dunks and layups tonight, and it was as black and white analysis as it gets, and as vanilla as it gets. It's as simple as it is. BYU could just get to the basket at will, and Holy Cross had zero answers. They should have played like a 1-4 defense or 1-4 zone.
They probably should have just trotted out 7 guys, and I think the result would have been fairly similar. I think if we were in the building, we might have thrown on some Holy Cross jerseys and gotten some shots up out there, Carter. I don't know.
I would have hit one. I don't know if that AJ guy can guard me.
Everyone type in the chat. Carter asked me this over text. Everyone type in the chat how many points you think you could have scored tonight if you played 20 minutes for BYU, no subs. You can't you have unlimited. You just get 20 minutes of playing time.
You can't get yanked. You
can't get yanked. 10 minutes first half, 10 minutes second half. You play 20 minutes. No one's going to get pissed at you if you take a bunch of shots. Kevin Young will not sub you out. How much are you scoring tonight? Everyone put in the chat what they think. Because I had an answer. Carter said I was wrong.
Yeah, you said 25 plus.
Yeah, because I'm confident in myself.
That's insane.
If you told me the rules, I'd be shooting it every possession. No one else would touch the rock, dude.
The problem is I don't think they would give you the rock at that point if you're chucking like that.
Oh, well, if this is like 2K and my player score is at like an F and I'm not getting the ball, then sure. But I thought this was like a hypothetical situation where I could shoot it every time.
It's got to be a blend of that. I don't know. Let's get into the hypotheticals later. Anything from this actual game you want to talk about?
Yeah, it was mostly the finishing for me. It was just so much better. And it's not like every layup was wide open. There was tough finishes too from Rob, from Diamande, from AJ, from Richie. Everyone that got to the rim finished at least one tough layup. They weren't all bunnies, which is what we needed to see after that Villanova game when it was always like, oh my gosh, they missed again. Like they missed these easy shots. Easy is not the right word, but these close shots, these high percentage shots, because Villanova still played defense, Holy Cross still played defense. They're not just letting BYU score, but they were able to finish those tough ones. And I also liked what I saw from guys coming from the bench. I think it's our first real taste of Diamande, seeing what he potentially could be for this team. And I think seeing guys like Mboop really embrace the role a little bit, try to do a little bit more offensively, right? Play awesome defense, everything that we wanted to see. I think we saw.
Yeah, we talked about that going into the preview of the bench guys we want to see and everything. And Diamande kind of, going into this game, I said, I just want to see one of these bench guys really take their opportunity in this game and run with it. And Diamande was that guy for tonight, clearly. And with his athleticism and his ability to get out in transition, how aggressive he was on the defensive end, which led to those opportunities. I mean, he took care of business in the minutes he had. He had 9 points, 4 of 7 from the field. Not great from the 3-point line, but that's okay. I mean, at least he's shooting them. I think he might have earned himself some extra minutes tonight. And then also, like you said, in Boop, I just love his energy when he's out on the floor, man. He is just everywhere on defense and just all over the floor.
Yeah, I love every Mboop minute. We said it in the last podcast. He is like the Energizer bunny that this BYU team needs, and he's doing it on every facet. I thought Dawson Baker looked really comfortable. This is his type of game, man. I mean,
yeah, this is his type of game where he can hey, you give Dawson Baker the ball, he will cook.
Yeah, I liked it. He looks very comfortable, coming off of injury. Really looks like he could get a bucket. I mean, even that Villanova game, he didn't get a ton of minutes and didn't have all the opportunities in the world. But I think he's solidified himself as that first or second guy off the bench. Obviously, the first on the backcourt.
Yep.
Off the bench for BYU. I think that question's been answered. It could change, but as of right now, it's Dawson Baker coming in. And look, I can't wait for our guy Tyler Morris to hit a 3. I love that he's pulling them. It's what he's supposed to do.
That killed me, man. I was rooting for it so hard. I need our guy. Delaware just has no idea what's coming for them. Spoiler alert. I don't think we're doing a preview for Delaware or anything, but Tyler Morris, my MVP of the Delaware game. I think it finally falls for him.
I think it does. Because I can't describe it because misses are misses, but they're you're like, oh, that felt good off his hand. Like he thought that was going in. Like they look good. They're just a little long, typically. So it's not like he's absolutely just bricking them. I mean, you can see it all there. And honestly, I just love to see a guy confidently pull it. It's like what Richie's been doing to start this season. Like he knows who he is. He's not going to stop shooting. Russ knows who he is. He knows his role on the team. So he's going to go shoot. I'm going to be super happy for him when he gets one finally.
Yeah, and also Richie with 20 points tonight, 7 to 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. That's what you like to see.
Going to the rim, Richie. I mean,
yeah.
Again, it's Holy Cross, but I'm like Richie can do this to good teams too. He's that good of a guy. He's not.
Let's get to the chat, Chase.
That's what I was gonna say. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get to the chat.
Everyone?
Shout out Alex. We're live. Every team but football. Every team but the football team made us proud today. So women's soccer, BYU men's basketball,
women's basketball, can't forget
women's basketball, maybe, and then football. Yeah, football did not make us proud. We'll talk about that later on. Christopher Jensen in the chat. We had a bench player score more than 10 points. Great to have Baker back. Great point. William S. Freeman in the chat. So are we going to be able to make enough threes this year to beat elite teams? Let's dive into that conversation, Chase.
That's an incredible question, William. Shout out you. It's a legitimate concern now. I don't want to overreact, but we've seen 4 full games of this team. 2 of them didn't count. 2 of them did. One of them was against a far inferior opponent. And in that game where you played a far inferior opponent, you had a lot of very good wide open looks in your own gym, and you still shot, what was it, Carter, 28% from three? Look, I'm not hitting the panic button, but I'm hitting the concern button. And it's now on my radar big time. And it's now something that I legitimately am a little worried about because I mean, tonight was the night to show it off. Even if, like we said, Holy Cross was defending it, they still had a lot of open looks that they just straight up missed. I mean, it's got to be better. And outside of, Richie and Dawson, I mean, who else? Kostic made one
Moo.
and Moo made two. Moo's been the most efficient shooter so far of this team in these two short games. Outside of that, like, no one's made one yet except for, like, AJ in one game and Boop in another. And it's a problem. And I'm hitting the concern button. It's got to be better. You're not going to beat elite teams if you shoot like this against Houston, against Texas Tech, against Arizona, against these unreal, very good teams who are going to shoot it better, who are going to defend you better, who are going to pressure you better. If you do this, it doesn't translate to wins. We know that. So yeah, I'm concerned.
I'm not ready to hit the panic button on this though.
I said I wasn't. I said I'm
Oh,
hitting
I
the
thought you said you
concern
were.
button. I said I'm not hitting panic.
Concern.
I'm hitting concern.
I'm not even concerned. I think it's just gonna fall eventually, because like we've seen Rob Wright. We know he can hit that shot. AJ, maybe it's not his best shot. I didn't expect AJ to be a 35% 3-point shooter coming into this year. And like Moo Davis, if he continues the way he has, and then we know Richie, it's eventually gonna fall. I'm not that concerned about it. Maybe we reconvene after the UConn game, then we can talk about it. But at this point, I'm not
Man.
necessarily concerned. I think it's going to fall.
If they do this against UConn, Carter, they're gonna get run out of the gym. No, like, because
Yeah, I mean, yes and
you
no. I
can't
mean,
shoot sub 30 and expect to win that big of a game. You got to hit above like 35 or above.
yeah, but also we'll talk about UConn on next week's show. I've started to watch some film. I'm also I'll save that. It's a teaser for the preview, but yeah, I mean, you can't do that, but I don't know. I think they're gonna fall. I'm just not that concerned yet.
I think they will too. I'm not, like I said, I'm not giving up hope, but I've seen 4 games now. They haven't shot 30% in any of them. So I'm
To
thinking about it.
your point, some of these misses have been bad on wide open looks.
The the Moo Davis like cross tween hezzy airball. It's like, okay, like he was feeling himself. Whatever.
Yeah, not gonna lie. I mean, I would have done the same thing in that spot. Let's dive back into the chat. Alex said, "Why would you cancel Big Ten Plus?" Self-explanatory.
I don't know, Alex. You still got to log in?
Yeah,
Maryland
versus Rutgers swim and dive. The meet everybody's been waiting for.
And they got nothing. Terrapin's got nothing on my Scarlet Knights. Come on,
dude. Watching AJ DeBanson play basketball might be the greatest coping mechanism after a football loss from our guy Eli Wynn. It felt good. It felt good. Whenever you see those memes of when your team loses and then people just go on Madden after and they put it on easy and they win like 130-0 in the recreated matchup. That's kind of how it felt tonight with basketball. It's like, all right, we needed that.
Yeah, 100% agree. I'll keep going with the chat here, Card. I don't want to take all your.
Oh, you're good. Let's save the Nate Pickens conversation for a little bit later.
Okay, we'll save that for later, William. But don't worry, we'll get to it. Angela says, "What was the score?" 98-53. There you go. Alex says, in response to my question like 20 minutes ago, he says, "I'm getting a solid 1 point," which honestly, you can do better than that, Alex. I believe in you. I think everyone in this chat could hit at least 1-3, or at least find a way to get a layup. Robin says, "Can the JC kid play this semester?" I'm assuming they're referring to KJ Perry.
I'm assuming, yeah, KJ Perry. We'll dive into that, but short answer, yes.
Short answer, yes, he can play when the semester
Yes.
changes. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right. We will dive in more into that. John says, I think the bench goes and boop Dawson Baker and then a concerned face. Back to the Nate Pickens convo a little bit. Did you see anything
Yeah.
from people tonight, Carter, that you're like, I feel a lot better about them coming into a big game like UConn next week?
No, I feel about the exact same, to be honest. But with the backup point guard minutes, I think maybe not immediately, but eventually, I think it's going to be Kostic that's running the backup point guard minutes because AJ can do it in spots, and that will be the play early on. But I eventually think, like, I don't think Kostic is that bad of a backup point guard, to be honest. And he can kind of fill that role enough in, 3 to 4 minute. Rob Wright's going to be playing 33 to 35 minutes a game from here on out. I think Kostic can come in and play a few minutes a game. I don't think that's that bad. And I think you can run the offense okay. And to be honest, I would rather have Kostic running point than Baker.
Really? What
Yeah,
makes you
I
say
think I
that?
think I think he's got a better feel for the position. I think he can run the offense a little better, and I trust his handle more. I think Baker's the better player,
Well,
but I don't think that's
I mean,
his game. I
Kostic
think
barely
he's a
played
shooting guard.
tonight. He didn't get in until very late.
He didn't get until very. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it happens now, but I think as the season progresses, I think we start to see his minutes tick up a little bit when
He played 40
when
minutes.
Rob comes out of the game.
Yeah, I think Dawson's like a true two. Like that's the position he was
Yes,
born to play. Kostic might be the better one in that situation. I think you're right. Um, let's keep going here. Robin says I loved AJ's D. Pause. I did too. One of my favorite things about AJ, like the dude's a stud offensively, finishing at the rim, the mid range stuff from him. It's just truly all elite stuff. My favorite part of watching him, Carter, is him playing defense and grabbing rebounds. Like
though
the
him getting those
oh
rebounds at the high point. Oh my gosh,
yes.
it's at the top of the backboard.
Yes. And I just love that he puts in the effort. Like it's a silly thing sometimes. You would assume that everyone but no, like this is to be that dude, to be the number one guy, number one recruit, and to still put in that much into the dirty work of basketball. It's my favorite part of his game. He does everything so well, but the effort he puts in. So I agree. His defense and the rebounding, impeccable tonight. Again.
That's what I've loved about a bunch of these freshmen this year, like AJ, Caleb Wilson, Koa Pete, Cam Boozer, even Darren Peterson. Like all these dudes are kind of doing the dirty work and they're aggressive because I feel like so many of these players now coming out of AAU and everything just get stuck in neutral and they never hit that higher gear and are aggressive. Like you see AJ tonight. I mean, it's in the second half. This game's over. It's 35. It's a 35-point game. He's still playing hard on defense, just switching hard, going up for rebounds, playing aggressive still. I love to see that little stuff. That matters a ton.
And I may be reading a little too much into it, so this might be whatever. But I think tonight he could have been like, it's the AJ show, and he could have just put up shot after shot after shot. But I really think he kind of took a step back. I mean, he still scored 17, took 10 shots. But like against a team like this, Carter, he could have put up 25. I don't think anyone would have batted an eye. He would have had 30 points and it would have been whatever. But I think that says a lot about his character and how bought in he is to the team. Again, I may be reading into it more than I should, but I really think like that kind of stuff says a lot about him. So for him, like just being a team player tonight, still playing awesome, still getting points up, of course, I think was telling.
I think so too. 100% agree. 100% agree.
Let's keep going with the chat. Some conversation about the bench. John says we don't have a lot of depth. Actually, I think we do. If I'm being honest, like there's so much talent, but it just is not showing yet. And I think the gelling and like the chemistry of this team, which is still super young, is yet to take effect. Especially when you're in the second unit, right? You're playing with dudes all the time, practicing. You're not getting a lot of run with the ones. But Kevin Young is never going to take out, one of those big three and Richie, AJ, and Rob. So you also need to know how to play with them and stuff like that. I really think the bench is talented, but I think he's right in the sense that it's not showing yet. Depth has not shown, if that makes sense.
I think that's fair, and I think it'll figure itself out a little bit. I think there is depth. It's just not in the positions that we necessarily. It's point guard. There's no point guard depth. That's
Yeah.
really what it is. Where
Yeah.
it's the 6'9" athletic dudes. There's plenty of those guys on the team. It's a matter of no one. You need that backup point guard coming off the bench that matters. And man, it would be kind of nice to have Dallin Hall coming off the bench this season.
It would. It'd be nice to have Dallin Hall for a lot of reasons. We love that guy. But yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what he did. Like his chemistry with Foose, the things that they were able to do with the second unit were so big. It's there, I think. It just hasn't been found yet. It hasn't come to light.
Shout
You
out
can keep
Nathan
going,
Lockwood
Carter.
in the chat. He said, if you're KY,
Shout out Nathan
are you
Lockwood.
telling Rob to pass more?
I think Rob was going to the basket and getting his shots tonight because he could. And I also am never mad when Rob Wright shoots it. I think he's that good.
He was also getting whatever he wanted. And once again, when a defender is going up against Rob Wright, they are shaking in their boots. And those Holy Cross guys, they were getting wide-eyed every single time he was getting ready to go to his first step. Those dudes were cooked immediately. And I think it was very much a point of emphasis tonight. We could maybe see it in the post-game press conference or anything like that. I think Kevin Young wanted Rob Wright to get to the basket tonight and finish and actually make the easy layups tonight. Because, the Villanova game, we talked about it a million times, missing bunnies left and right.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to have a problem passing. I think it's probably the nature of the game tonight. Because we saw in those exhibition, like he was dishing to everyone.
Yeah, and also it's kind of Villanova kind of played a similar style of defense. Villanova and Holy Cross kind of played a similar style of defense. One's just not as talented as the other. Where even when these dudes were driving into the paint, no one was really playing help defense on these guys. It was all one-on-one, and they were just saying, "Look, no, we're not going to have a guy help from the corner or anything. We're not going to leave a guy open from three. Just." If they beat your man, they beat your man. That was kind of it on defense tonight. And that's why BYU was able to get whatever they want in the paint.
Yeah, and he was hitting them. So, if he's hitting them, I'm happy with it, And he'll find dudes. The Rob Wright stock has never been higher. I'm still loving it.
It'll keep going higher.
Yeah, I'm not. No, we're all the way up, baby. Robin says it seems like every team attacks Baker defensively. Wouldn't you? No offense to our guy, but just look at who else he's playing with. They always single someone out. I'm a big Celtics fan. Everyone goes after. Whoa, excuse me, Carter.
Oh yeah, we're losing Chase here. He's gonna. You need a mute. You need a mute.
Too much talk. I need a mute. You keep going.
All right. Yep. Chase needs a mute. He's out of here. What he's trying to say was when his Celtics play, a team like the Charlotte Hornets, they can
All
go
right, I'm back.
Well, that's a bad example.
Let me stop because if you watch Celtics play, every team goes after Sam Hauser. He's the resident 3-point specialist, Duncan Robinson clone. Everyone tries to do it because that's just the nature of the game because he's the worst defender out there. Doesn't mean he's a bad defender. In fact, Sam Hauser surprises a lot of dudes. Was a big part of that championship run. Guys couldn't attack him. And also Baker's hurt. I think they've done their homework, right? At least he's coming off of an injury. And so the game plan, or at least the scouting report, is I think we favor this matchup one-on-one a little bit more. That doesn't mean he's bad. I don't think he's a terrible defender or anything, but I can see the strategy.
Jack's in the chat. Rob Wright looks like the second coming of Colin Sexton, and I'm so here for it. I'll let you take that one, Chase, first.
Is it because of the hair? He looks awesome. Colin Sexton was, I think everyone automatically thinks of the NBA Colin Sexton, but no one really thinks of the Alabama Colin Sexton. That dude was a freak on both ends of the floor. The stuff Colin Sexton did defensively was one of the best defending point guards I think college basketball has seen. Ultimate two-way player. Rob's lacking that. But I think Rob's probably more refined offensively with his handle and his ability to navigate the lane. Um, it's not a bad comp, Carter. What do you think?
I don't think it's a bad comp either. I was curious to see your thoughts because I don't hate it. I think it's Colin Sexton. If you just there's a meter, and Rob Wright's leans just more towards the point guard position, has more of a point guard feel. I think he's a lot more of an unselfish player. Meanwhile, Colin Sexton is I'm gonna make sure I get mine. I'm gonna make sure I score. I'm getting shots up tonight, and I would say obviously he's a better shooter, but he's more of a shooting guard. But I don't hate the comp though. If Colin Sexton just had a little bit more of a point guard feel, I think it's very fair because both those dudes are just lightning quick too.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I love it.
They don't look too dissimilar either.
Yeah. Also sweating about our 3-point Davis, Richie, and
Me
Baker.
too, John.
Low-key wish we had good attitude catchings right now.
Good attitude
We had a good attitude catchings. We might need to get a Hall of Fame of comments for this season, like comments of the season, and that one hit. I'm not gonna
First
lie.
submission.
That one got me. When I was reading it, it goes, "Oh crap, that's a good one."
Man, what team wouldn't want a good attitude catching?
Alex Beach said, "Of course, I got a Big 10 plus login." Shout out you, man. I do not.
Grinder. I love it.
Angela in the chat. Based on what you've seen so far, what do you predict for the UConn game? Chase, we will dive into this more later this week before we'll do a very in-depth preview. We'll watch some more film. I want to watch some more film. I watched a bit of the UMass Lowell UConn game, and that did not tell me a thing because it was very similar to what we watched tonight. I think UConn won 110-47, and it was Danny Hurley. I don't know what he said in that last practice, but I mean, it looked like a UConn women's game, and it was just pure domination. So, early predictions. I lean BYU, but I want to watch more film.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be I think it's going to be sluggish. I'll give you that my early prediction. I think it'll be slow for both teams. NBA court, big arena. I think both teams play inside out from what we've seen early. I mean, again, we need to see film and then play more legit teams, whatever. But I expect it to be a slow, grinding, defensive matchup there in Boston. But holy crap, I can't wait. It's going to be so sick.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Danny Hurley, man, he's got a gauntlet of a schedule to start the season. New Haven, UMass Lowell, and Columbia. Oof.
Yeah. Number one fan of Dan Hurley, Carter Bond here.
Yeah, we need to get our guy Rob Doster in here because, I mean, I'm not a Dan Hurley guy. Not a Dan Hurley guy. Yep. John said, "Yep, chemistry will come," and then Nathan also said Rob had 1 assist against Nova. Like you said, I think that's more like game script. It's like when you watch JJ McCarthy play quarterback at Michigan. He's got 160 yards. Doesn't mean JJ McCarthy played bad in that game. It's just he wasn't asked to throw the ball in that game. He didn't need to.
Yeah, I agree because it was. I mean, we all watched the last 6 minutes. The game plan was high pick and roll, get down there, Caba pins his guy, and you get a layup. And Rob was able to do that, and he was also able to expose all his matchups. Like, dude, the way he breaks down defenders and gets by them, it's unlike anything BYU's ever seen, and he's one of the best in the country at it. So, that was the game plan there. And also, it doesn't help when he kicks it out and BYU doesn't hit threes. So.
Shout out Eli Wynn. He said, "We getting a Carter rant on Dan Hurley for the UConn preview." How do I want to go about this?
We might give you 10 minutes just to go off, and I'll just mute.
Let's just find out if my credentials approved or not. I haven't gotten the email back. Once we get that email back confirming, then we're full go. Either way, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think I'm gonna be able to help myself. I think a Dan Hurley rant's coming.
I can't wait to hear it. I mean,
and I'll have things prepared. Don't worry. I'll have research. I feel like when you have to talk about these things, you need to bring your findings. Peer-reviewed research, which I have plenty of on the Dan Hurley hate train.
Tons peer-reviewed, like out the waz. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So touching on the Twitter chat real quick. If you're in the Twitter chat, hop over to the YouTube. Much better, much better. We'll get your info on the or your comment on the screen and everything. Coos Corner on Twitter said Rob Wright looked a lot better tonight. He's getting his, man. I mean, just getting to the basket at will. And our guy Nolan Mickelson said, just got home from Lubbock. Time for sleep. Have a great show. At least basketball got the W. Poor Cougar fans going to Lubbock. I mean, that's just a brutal day. We'll close with that on the show. Anything else from Holy Cross you want to touch on before we get into the Nate Pickens stuff?
Honestly, no. It was awesome. They won by dang near 50. Way to go.
Yeah, it is what it is. I think that's about it. I'm waiting for my guys Maruss and Xavion to get a bucket. I think we're getting a Xavion dunk on Tuesday night and a Maruss.
Yeah, and Xavion Maruss 3 threes.
Yep,
yeah,
Maruss 3 threes Tuesday night against Delaware. Delaware, who unfortunately lost a bye game as a low major team to Wilmington, a Division II team, earlier yesterday, I believe, Friday afternoon. Not great. Lost by 9. Anyhow, let's dive in. Nate Pickens, it was announced today that Nate Pickens will be missing the entirety of the 25-26 season with a foot injury. He had surgery on it this week and will no longer, it will redshirt this season, and plans, keyword there, plans to come back to BYU for next season. This is a major blow, Chase. We've been talking about this nonstop where we go, man, these non-Rob Wright minutes, okay, when Nate Pickens get back. When Nate Pickens is back, all will be better. Yeah. This is a real blow.
It is. There's no way to sugarcoat it. This sucks. He was the bona fide, backup point guard. We've talked about all season, the short, whatever, it's been 2 weeks. But we've talked about how that's what they're missing from the bench. That's a big impact on this team, the way it's run. And now you just lose them and find out the entire season is a no-go for him. It's a bummer, man. I feel bad for him first and foremost. I think it's his senior year. He will be able to play next season, so he'll get his senior year in. But I think it always sucks when you have that sort of injury and it wastes your whole season. So feel bad for him. On the BYU side, they're really going to miss it. They're really going to miss the depth at point guard, backing up Rob Wright. It's going to put a lot of more pressure on Rob to play a lot more minutes. I think he can do it, but you just risk injury. You risk all sorts of things. What happens if Rob Wright fouls out? What happens if Rob Wright goes down with an injury? Knock on wood. Then you're really, really, looking in your bag if you're Kevin Young and figuring out a way to win a game at that point. So there's not much to say on my end other than it just sucks, man. It's really a big hit.
It sucks. You feel terrible for the guy too, because it's like, man, being able to play a part of a team that's going for a national title, has a legitimate shot at a national title this year. It does blow, and you feel terrible for Nate Pickens. And on the BYU side, I think you nailed it, because Rob Wright is going to be asked to do so much, even more now at this point. And what happens if Rob Wright gets 2 cheap fouls by the under-16 timeout in a game? That's going to be something to look forward to, because in a lot of these games in college basketball, a lot of teams don't really have big man depth. So teams are always attacking the paint, wanting to get these big men in foul trouble. Kind of the opposite for BYU. Rob Wright cannot get into foul trouble in these games. And on top of that, put this man in some bubble wrap and do whatever you got to do, and have him wear some Brett Favre copper fit, whatever you got to do. Do not let this guy get hurt this season. I mean, knock on wood, do whatever you got to do, because I don't want to see him playing when it's a 37-point game with 5 minutes left. Go to the bench. Yeah, we can't risk any types of injuries in games that don't matter. He is, play the music. He's the most important player of this team, and now more than ever.
Man, the chat's supposed to say that one, Carter, but you're absolutely right. I text you, with 5 minutes left, and I'm like, why is Rob Wright in this game? Immediately following the Nate Pickens news. Like, what? Yeah. I was so confused. And then they go on timeout, and I'm like, all right, he's out. And then out trots Rob Wright. I was like, this is not making any sense. Then they took him out and whatever, and he stayed healthy. But don't forget, I mean, gosh, I really don't want to jinx anything. Rob Wright also was a little banged up heading into the season. I mean, only played that first half against Nebraska. he himself is coming fresh off of an injury of sorts. I don't know how serious exactly it was, but still, he's like the most precious asset right now BYU has. He's not the best player, but for his position, man, he's irreplaceable. And the bench, you're looking at it, you don't have a true one there. You're Someone needs to step up. Is it Kostic? Is it Dawson Baker? We'll see, man.
I think, yeah, like once conference play happens, I think it's going to end up being Kostic and then spot AJ minutes running point.
Yeah, I think so too.
And even when it's not, and when Rob Wright's not in and AJ's in those minutes, I think it just turns into the AJ show, which, for better or for worse.
I
Yeah,
Samuel.
we got. I mean, yeah. Thank you. Sam saved it with the chat, but
yeah. Well, Carter said it first. Here's one thing I will say about the Rob Wright thing and like the Nate Pickens thing. BYU's clearly known that this is gonna happen before the season started. They don't schedule surgeries without knowing what's going on. So they've known that they wouldn't have Nate Pickens for a minute. So I'll just say that I trust Kevin Young and the staff. I think they have a plan. I think they're not stupid. They understand that they're going to be thin at the point guard position, and I think that they're taking the time to practice, work with guys, and tell them that this is going to be a bigger role for some of you, and they're going to get them ready. I truly think that they've been prepared for this. We'll see what it is, but they got to figure it out.
Yeah, because and going back to an earlier comment on the show with the whole KJ Perry stuff, because KJ Perry committed, all that good stuff, he will be enrolled come January for winter semester, and he'll be with the team, but he'll technically be redshirting at that point. But he could suit up for BYU technically. So therefore, it becomes a question of he's got 2 years of eligibility when he comes in. Is it worth burning a year of eligibility for a half season when you haven't really been super acclimated to the team? Yeah, he's probably come and worked out a few times with the guys and whatnot throughout, but is it worth burning a red shirt for half a season, or do you want 2 full seasons?
Well, you remember he's not even coming in until January, Carter.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know. That's half a season.
Right. So not only he hasn't even been able to practice with them. Like you'd be throwing him into the fire without even getting time with the program on campus. I'd be shocked if they ended up suiting him up and playing him. Again, I think they've known this Nate Pickens thing for a minute now. I think
I think it just depends. I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world if he burns his red shirt. Seen it a ton in college basketball for much less.
I mean, if he had been with the team in July, then maybe I'd see it. Then I feel a lot better about it. But the fact that he won't even be on campus till January, I don't. How could you possibly throw a guy in that situation?
Yeah, it just depends on how desperate BYU is. But yeah, that's Nate Pickens news. Anything else on that?
Nah, I'm just sad because that sucks. That's not the end of the season, but it sucks.
Yeah, well, it gets even worse, Chase, because let's talk BYU football.
Ah, man.
We won't spend long on it. Don't worry. It's late. It's almost midnight on the East Coast. BYU gets smoked today. I think it was 29-7 was the final score. What it ended up being. Not great.
Not great. I mean, it wasn't even meh. It was worse than that. It was bad. Look, BYU losing a game is not the end of the world. They still have so much to play for. So I've taken the path of just like chilling out. Like I don't care that they lost. I texted this in a group chat with you, Carter. I don't care that they lost. A loss doesn't. It's whatever. I care how they lost. I care that it was like the most miserable 4 hours of watching them do nothing on offense. Shout out the defense. They were awesome today, all things considered, in the situations they were put in. Here's what I say, and I'll stop. I'm just so sick of every single time BYU gets a chance. Oh, you're right, Alex. What are we talking about? Every time BYU gets a chance to like put their name on the map, they get hyped up, and they all eyes on them. They play a massive game, They not only lose it, they absolutely like poop the bed. Terrible, incompetent. Like it's the lights literally are too bright for this program, and it's not like I'm not pinning it on one guy or even a coach because it's just happened my entire life. They always just blow it in the most ugly way. If they had lost by a touchdown today and they had a chance and like didn't get, whatever then. All right. But the ugliest way. I'm thinking like, I'm trying to think back like a couple years ago you play at Oregon. You get after a big win against the top 10 Baylor team, you get absolutely shellacked, you know, and when everyone was starting to like hype you up. I'm thinking about game days in the past. TCU comes to Provo.
Coastal.
Thir- they win 31-7. Coastal Carolina game day. Oh, BYU might be, good enough for the 14 playoff. You blow it to a team that really honestly wasn't that good. It was just weird COVID stuff. And I'm just sick of it. All right. I just want it to be
Real.
competitive. I mean, like, look, I'm also not delusional. I knew BYU, they're not the best team in the country. I look, they have four guys on offense. It's the two receivers, LJ and Bear. That's all the weapons they have. Carson Ryan, gets mixed in every once in a while. The defense is awesome. They're also banged up. It's a tough schedule. It's a really tough game against, an insanely good team. I'm not delusional. I just want to not look like idiots on the biggest stage. So that really pissed me off. But I've decided to move on. Tons to play for. You just got to win 3 games and you get another crack at these guys on a neutral field. And I really do think, as bad as today was, this might sound stupid. Maybe I am delusional. BYU is still good enough to compete with Texas Tech. They got destroyed today. They were not ready. Texas Tech was so much better. In a rematch, I think BYU would obviously fare a lot better. I think they are good enough to compete with them. Does that mean they win? I don't know, but I think I think they're still good. I don't think this takes away from the 8 wins that they had before. All right, I'm done, Carter. Sure, let's hear your thoughts.
I mean, yeah. The other part that really sucks is it's like, okay, the defense didn't play bad. It wasn't the defense's fault. I don't think Bear played bad, to be honest. I don't think this game's necessarily on him. Receivers dropped a lot of balls today, and LJ Martin clearly is not healthy. I mean, LJ Martin should not have been playing today.
And even when he did, like in the first half, like he was still running. He was tearing off 7-yard runs,
Yeah,
and
but
they
you
just
could
went away
tell
from it.
he looked about 40%, if we're being honest.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's how good he
Yeah.
still is, even at that, and they went away from it because clearly he's not healthy. But yeah.
Yeah, and it just felt like there were opportunities in the game to go get it, and I had a lot of problems with playing a little too conservative at times, or okay, why go for it on that 4th down, and then your next 4th down, which you're 10 yards further, and it's still 4th and 2, then you punt it. Like, that thought process just doesn't add up. It was just a lot of those things, boiling up at the same time. And you're right. It just feels like another instance of, okay, finally, hype up, hype up, hype up, hype up, boom, collapse. I mean, it feels like every Ole Miss team ever is just, hype up, hype up, hype up, collapse against Bama, collapse against Georgia. This is kind of the story with it, but I don't get too down on this because you look at the schedule going forward. I don't think Cincinnati's all that great. And then it's right there in front of them. Then you look at what happens in the ACC right now. BYU closes the season 11-1. I think you're probably 80% into the playoff at that point.
Do you think so? Do you think at large is still on the table?
Absolutely, especially with the ACC. ACC just locked themselves into a 1-bid league, guaranteed. Group of 5, 1 bid. And then, I don't think Notre Dame's going to fall, so that didn't help. But if you look at the Big Ten today, Indiana should have lost to Penn State outside of a miracle catch, like one of the best catches I've ever seen in my life. So therefore, I think the Big Ten might have a couple slip-ups there. Big Ten's getting max 3 teams in. So there's open spots there. It's not crazy.
I don't think it's crazy, and I really think an 11-1 Big 12 team whose only loss was to the best team in the conference, like that's a team that deserves like a really like to go to the playoff. I would say that about anyone, not just
And
BYU. But
they
the
set
way
the
they lost today was not going to
they
look
set
good
the
in front of the
precedent last season with
polls.
SMU. SMU still had a loss against BYU last season, and they didn't punish them for losing in the ACC title game. So if they're 11-1 at that point, say they're in the top 12 of the college football playoff rankings, you can't necessarily punish them for losing in a Big 12 title game, because otherwise, if you're already in that spot, why not forfeit the game? There should be the conference title game should only be a bonus at that point.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see what they do. And BYU's got a really good chance to be 11-1. All the games are winnable, easy. You know, it's really up to them to not
Yeah.
let this loss like tank the attitude and the momentum and everything. Because TCU's look, they lost today. You know, they're not an amazing team, but they're a team that
They
could
can
beat
get you.
anyone in this conference in any given night. So you got to be focused heading into next week. You got to forget about what just happened in Lubbock and move on.
Eli said if we had big noon kickoff instead of college game day, then it might have been different. Maybe just bad vibes around college game day, Chase.
It really is. It's literally the lights too bright. I mean, these are the stats I like. I honestly believe it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
Eli,
speaking
Eli
facts.
speaking facts. Special teams set the tone. Yep.
Right. I mean, you can't get a stop like that and just muff it and then punt. Man, it
Jack
was so.
Kelly put the team on his back. Could not agree more. I mean, that dude, man. I mean, just I thought the play that honestly did it for me was him. I think it was Jacoby Williams. He was on that wheel route and Jack Kelly was out in coverage 20 yards downfield, made a great stop on third down. It's just stuff like that. I mean, the dude was just putting the team on his back left and right on that defense, and he's not healthy at all.
No, he was unreal, and I think a lot of people in the country like realized that. Even Herb Street was like, "Holy, like this might be the best guy on the field." And I just felt bad for them. I feel bad for the whole defense, but especially Jack Kelly. I'm like, he doesn't. They don't deserve what this offense is doing. It's like 5 minutes
Yeah.
after it's like run back out there, fellas. Yeah.
Shout out Jennifer Smith in the chat. Preach Chase. Kept trying to go around the end. Never worked. On to basketball for now. Not on to basketball. We still got both. We
Tons
still
to
got
play for,
both.
folks. Don't
Tons to
let
play
this.
for.
Yeah.
Next Saturday is going to be a monumentous day in BYU sports history and forever. You got the neutral site game against UConn, and then an hour after the game ends. In between that hour, you're going to come back here and watch the Church Ball podcast because we're going to be live right after the game. And then that's going to roll right into BYU football, 8:15 Mountain kickoff against TCU. A huge weekend next weekend. Huge. Sam in the chat. Never expected to win the football game today, but still solid path for the for the conference championship game. And the loss pretty much shuts Utah out. So there's that. The conference tie stuff, I'm going to let people smarter than me figure that out and have time to go through the tie break scenarios. I'll let everyone else figure that out because I can't.
I tried. It's all very complicated. The biggest threat now is Cincy. You got to beat Cincinnati, and then Arizona State. Their schedule is so easy. So basically, I really think BYU just got to win out. I mean, they can't be thinking it's like in the world. You remember the World Cup game, or was it the World Cup, or was it? Anyway, Berhalter like turns to the team. They're like, they're the other team in their group tied, and you're like, it's a tie. Like just get it. All we need is a tie, and it's like, how about you just go out and win the game? I don't want people
Yep.
thinking about scenarios. Go win 3 games that are very winnable against the teams you're better than, and just go and see Tech again.
You're 8-1. You control your own destiny. You're going to be favored in most of these games to close the season. Go win it. Go win it. It's right there for you.
Yeah, I still think this team's awesome, and I love these players. I don't. This is not who they are. I mean, it's one game, so we'll see who they really are on Saturday. It's the bounce back that means everything, right?
Yeah, we'll find out. I'm excited. I'm not that down on it. Now Texas Tech fans that might be hate watching this. If you're 53 minutes into BYU basketball podcast, really hate watching that much. I mean, you should see the DMs and mentions. Texas Tech fans, though, honestly, I've dealt with the SEC and I've dealt with some other fan bases. They're nowhere near as bad. No, they're not that bad. I mean, like, yeah, you get some comments here and there. That's expected. Texas Tech fans really not that bad to deal with.
That's good to hear. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
they've been actually really solid. Utah fans, that's a problem. That's a legitimate
Yeah.
issue where they're
Specifically to us as BYU people, right?
oh my gosh, it's a nightmare out there. But anyhow, no, I think I underestimated Texas Tech's defense going into this one, and BYU. I mean, with LJ Martin, you see LJ Martin's expected to play, and you go, okay, like how healthy is he? I think if you, I mean, imagine if you see 100% LJ Martin in this game, how different is it? I don't necessarily know, but I do think it's a little different because they couldn't get anything going on the ground.
Is it 22 points different? Oh, look, Tech's also
I
fetching good, dude.
Yeah, but I think that spiraled a little bit, and I think that score, like, yeah,
My thing is like at halftime, you feel yucky because you're like, ugh, you know. But it's
yeah.
like, wait, and then they get the stop at a half, and it's like a touchdown here changes everything. It's all of a sudden it's 7-13, and it's like just a normal ball game. But they just could never get anything going. Like there was the defense created so many opportunities. So you're right. Like maybe if they just get that one score and momentum shifts, and it could change a lot.
And there were
But
just some just massive momentum changing plays like the Parker Kingston drop or whatever, or the Chase Roberts drop, or the JoJo Phillips drop, like just monumental. And or Chase, yeah, like the Chase Roberts, that beautiful pass Bear had. Chase definitely pushes off on that one and has that diving catch right there, right in his hands. Like that's a huge play, and you had to have that one. Just those little things can change the game so much. Is it 22 points worth? Probably not.
no. And then look, you played in Lubbock, awesome crowd. Mahomes was there. It was always going to be tough. It was like 12 and a half points was the freaking line. Like you were big underdogs.
Yeah, Panthers
You're big
Packers
underdogs.
was 13.5, and Panthers won no problem. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm on to Sunday. It's almost midnight.
I was all over Panthers, baby.
Uh, Eli in the chat said, "Are they dropping below Utah in the CFP rankings on Tuesday?" That's going to be very, very, very interesting because in no way, shape, or form should BYU drop below Utah in the rankings. Doesn't make any sense, but might happen.
I think we see uh Utah move up 1 to 12 and BYU at 11. I think they're right by each other.
I think it's a great call. But the problem is,
Because you gotta, if you're the committee, you gotta be like, okay, look,
yeah, because
right?
you can't punish BYU for that. And also, like, Utah fans have no room to talk about this stuff. Like, you just lost to both these teams.
Yeah, I think it's Utah 12, BYU 11. But here's what I'm gonna say. It's easy for me to say this now. Tuesday, I'm just gonna be like, whatever the rankings or whatever. You just have to win. Gotta
Yep, that's
win.
it. The
Rankings
rankings are
mean nothing
irrelevant.
as long as you just go and win. But I'll still be probably ticked at whatever happens, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say. BYU's O line did pretty good against that great D line from Texas
Yeah, I
Tech.
think they
That's
did.
what I'm saying. Like, I feel like so many guys actually played fairly well today on both sides of the ball. It was just very conservative play calling. And if you can't get that run game going, and the receivers weren't creating much separation downfield. So it's like, well, what is Bear supposed to do right there? Like, even that interception by Bear, like the fact that he even evaded that sack right there was so impressive. And
Yeah,
I like, all right, it's fourth down. Like, you're gonna lose the ball anyway. Just take a shot right there.
I agree. I don't want to pin it on one person because I think it's a whole team. I thought A-Rod was not good today. But at the same time, he's been awesome the rest of
Fair.
the seasons. So I'm not gonna be like fire A-Rod, he sucks, whatever. I just thought today he got beat pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's
Obviously.
fair. I think it's fair. But hey, on to TCU. We got TCU football that night. I got a flight to Boston on Thursday. I'm going to go say hey to your family in
TCU
Boston.
game. What time is the TCU game? Carter?
10:15 Eastern, 8:15 Mountain.
Whew. Love it.
Don't worry. I already got it all laid out. Don't worry. So we got BYU UConn. I'll be at TD Garden from, probably like 5 p.m. Eastern to like, a game will end around 9. We'll go live immediately after. I'm not going to the press conference or anything like that. We'll go live on here. and then we'll go live for about an hour, and then boom, I'm going to move over to a sports bar probably like 5 minutes down the road and watch TCU BYU. It's going to be a great night. I'll be up till like 2 a.m. Who cares? I'll
It'd be a
sleep when
great
I'm
night.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my hometown. You say what's up to my abuela and everything. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, I'll tell Jason and Deuce Tatum what's up.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyhow, last comment. Alex said A-Rod knew LJ was hurt, and his play calling reflected that. I don't disagree.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was obvious.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Yeah.
all right.
Good call.
Well, that does it from us. We'll have a preview pod coming this week for the UConn game. We'll not be going live after Delaware, unfortunately. So make sure to follow on all socials at ChurchBallPod on everything, at Chase_Rogers0, at CarterB8. Make sure to watch us. Watch us be like, you know what? Let's screw around. Let's go live Tuesday night. I think we're addicted to this, Chase. Might have to call the hotline.
Listen, I mean, if people are going to hop on and chat with us for an hour after the Holy Cross, I mean,
hey, the Blue Hens,
who knows?
the Blue Hens might be waiting. And also, all the people who have been stubborn and are sticking to their guns with YouTube TV, congratulations. This game's on YouTube TV on Tuesday night, CBS Sports Network. But anyhow, that does it from us. Make sure to subscribe, follow. You guys know the drill by now. And we'll see y'all next time.